Hello guys and welcome back to my channel ManojWeb, where my goal is to make your front-end life easier. In today's video, we're going to be having a look at how to get access to your mouse's position and use that to create some cool effects. So first I will be showing you an effect where this div will follow the mouse. The mouse will be at the center and it'll follow it around, and then I'll be showing you a cool effect which you can do with it, and I'll be going through it step by step so you understand everything about it. And by the end of this, you should have some ideas popping in your brain about how to make your portfolio or your website idea a lot better with a lot more personalized interactions. So, let's get started. So let's get started by showing you what's going on. First, I have this div with a class of container which just has a paragraph which says "I will follow you." It has a body with a background color of pink. Container position absolute, which is one of the most important parts for this to work. A specific width and height, background, border radius, this flex to center everything. So let's get started. First, we're going to get access to the container, which is what we're going to move. So let's do const container equals document dot get not get. I mean, I'll use query selector because I like using query selector better. Dot container. So this gets access to the container. So if I console.log that, console.log container, you can see class container, I will follow you text, so you know it's correct. What we want to do next is add an event listener to the window. So when we move the mouse on the window, that's when we want it to move. That's going to be our event listener. Mouse, move. So when the mouse moves, we do this function. We're going to do a function. I'm going to put this in arrow notation, because just instead of writing function, you just write all your parameters in the parentheses, then make this arrow, and then over here you just write your function. So it's just a simpler way of writing it for me. An event is going to be a parameter, which is going to be like the event that happens, so we can get some properties of the event. That's how we're going to access the scroll event the move event that happens, and get access to the x and y position, which is what we'll use to change the position of that. So now that we can get access to the event, we can do the function. It's extremely simple, really. What you can do is container.style.left. Actually, before I show you, I want to show you how we get access to these x and y positions. You can do event dot client x to get access to the x position. So as I move right, you can see it increases, right? The x position is increasing, so it's horizontal. If I change it to client y, you can see the y position, which increases as I move down. Down increases, up decreases. So we know it's correct. And now, as you already saw before, you can change the top and left of the element to have it move that much from the top left corner of the screen. So it gives the effect of it following your mouse around. That's why we have the position absolute, and that's why it's so important. So we can do container. So let's see over here, container dot style dot left equals event dot client x. Now, if you see this, it's not going to work. Do you know why? Because for left, we also need to add pixels. Now that we add pixels, you can see it's going to follow us around. But you can see the mouse is on the left edge of that, and we don't want that. So what we can do is to the client X, we can add half of the width, or actually subtract half of the width because we want to go further left. Minus half of the width, which is 125, plus the pixels. That'll put our mouse right at the center of the box. As you can see, it's around the center, right around the center of it. We can do the same with the top. So instead of left, it'll be top, and we do client Y, not X, Y, client Y, and instead of 125, we subtract 50 because the height is 100 plus pixels. So now this box will follow us around wherever we go. Like it says, I will follow you. So that's how you have it follow. And this can allow you to do a lot of cool things. I'll just show an example right now. So let's say we wanted to place this down wherever we clicked on the window. So we can do is window.add event listener of type click, which runs this function, which takes in the parameter of event. In this function, we'll create a new container document.createElement of div, and we're going to create some container text, which is going to be the text inside the thing, inside the div. Element type paragraph, and what we'll do is container text dot inner text equals this thing right here. We'll just control C and control V, and we'll do new container dot append container text, because we want container text to be a child of the container. And new container will have a class, so we'll add a class onto it using the class list, which is just a list of all the classes. We can add a class onto that, which will be container, so it has all the effects applied to it. And we'll do new container dot style, so add the top and left. Actually, I don't need to type all that out. I can just copy that because it'll be the same. And I just need to change from container to new container. Container. Once I do that, I can append this new container into the body, but you have to get access to the body first. So we have to do const body equals document dot query selector body, and then what we can do over here is body dot append new container. So the new container becomes a part of the body. Now, as we move our mouse around, okay, so why is it not doing that? So there's a problem which we can fix right now. So new container, I'm doing body.append, query selector, body, container, inner text equals my oh, because I never clicked. Once I click, I forgot to click. Okay, so once I click, you can see that it's creating all these new copies of it. When I click, it just creates it there, and you can see it interacting with each other. Isn't that cool? And if you change it to mouse move, guess what happens? Okay, 3, 2, 1. This creates a bunch of copies of this container. And you know what else you can add with that? Animations. So keyframes, you can create a burst animation, which just goes to opacity of 0, so it just disappears. And we'll just give that animation to this dot container. So whenever it's placed, it runs this animation burst. We'll have it go for 500 milliseconds in a linear fashion, but you'll see something real quick. It goes and it comes back to normal. You don't want that. We want it to go to forward, so it stays at that final spot. So it stays at the opacity of 0. So now, as you can see, you probably already see quite a few cool effects you can do with this. You can do glitter effects, some kind of boss, some kind of item, some kind of model following you around in the website. You can make so many personalized interactions in your website with this kind of scrolling, with this kind of following. See? Isn't that cool? You can increase this to like 1,000 to have it last longer as well. Now if I do 1,000, you can see it lasts so much longer. And I can make it like 100 as well, so it goes by real fast. So see, it just goes by real fast. Isn't that cool? Now I'll show you a different effect that I've made myself. So right here, this is a different effect where I have this tiny glitter following me around. When I click on the screen, it changes color. It changes to red, blue, green, turquoise, cyan, teal. Actually, not turquoise, teal and cyan. Okay. So these are all the colors that I have. I'm using this to keep track of what color I have to change to, and the current color is the color to change to. When I click, I increase the index, and I change the current color. I make sure the index doesn't go over the length, so I don't get some kind of index error. I get access to this glitters container, which is going to keep track of all the glitter. It's going to create a new glitter element, add the class of glitter, and it's going to style the top, left and top, and change the background color to the current color, and then it's going to append that. See? You can do all kinds of cool effects. Another thing you could do, you know what you could do? You could do like so every glitter could have a different transparent time. So like how long it stays on the field for. You know how it's like by default set to 500 milliseconds? You could do transparent time equals math.floor, so it randomly selects it, math.random times. Let's say we want up to We want up to 2000 seconds, so 1500, because I'll do plus 500 onto that. We don't want anything for 0 seconds. So it's going to set the transparent time equal to a random number between 500 and 2000. And what we're going to do is do glitter dot style dot animation equal to, there's another way to do this, but I won't talk about it just yet. We'll set the animation equal to burst and then plus transparent time plus milliseconds, linear forwards. So now if we do this, each element will have a different amount of time it's there for. See, some elements go by faster while some stay there for longer. I can make this like 15,000, make some stay for like really long. You can see some are staying for really long and some just disappear. Isn't that cool? See, this gives you like a whole new world to play around with, whole new ways to make your website interactive. So I hope you guys learned something new with this video, and I hope you got some new ideas like crackling through your mind, thinking of how you can make your website better. So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and like button, and see you next time.